The Atlantic Ocean churns. It's 2024 and the hurricane season is upon us. But this year feels different. Forecasters predict a season of intense storms, more frequent and powerful than usual. The reason? A complex interplay of factors with El Niño and climate change at the forefront. We are in an age where our understanding of these powerful storms is greater than ever before. Satellites track their every move, their swirling clouds a testament to the raw energy contained within. Supercomputers crunch data, predicting their paths with increasing accuracy. Yet there's a humbling truth. We can't control these forces of nature. We can only prepare for their wrath. Understanding the science behind this unusually active hurricane season is the first step towards safeguarding our communities. This isn't just about wind and rain, it's about the future we are creating for ourselves. Let's explore the science behind these storms and what we can do to weather the tempests ahead. El Niño, a climate pattern in the Pacific Ocean, has far-reaching effects. It's like a pebble tossed into a pond, its ripples influencing weather patterns across the globe. Typically, El Niño suppresses hurricane activity in the Atlantic. It does this by creating strong, upper-level winds that shear off the tops of developing storms, preventing them from gaining strength. This year, however, is different. We are in an El Niño year, but it's not behaving as expected. The typical atmospheric conditions that suppress hurricane formation are absent. This anomaly allows hurricanes to form and intensify, fueled by the unusually warm Atlantic waters. Scientists are studying this unusual El Niño pattern closely. They are trying to understand why it's not behaving as expected, and what this means for future hurricane seasons. This research is critical for improving our ability to predict and prepare for these powerful storms. Hurricanes are heat engines, fueled by the warmth of the ocean. Warm, moist air rises from the ocean surface, creating an area of low pressure below. This low pressure draws in more air, creating a cycle of rising air and intensifying winds. The warmer the ocean, the more fuel these storms have. This year, the Atlantic Ocean is exceptionally warm. Climate change, driven by human activities, is the primary culprit. The ocean has absorbed over 90% of the excess heat trapped by greenhouse gases. This heat doesn't just stay at the surface, it penetrates deep into the water column. This deep reservoir of heat provides ample fuel for hurricanes. As storms pass over these warm waters, they can intensify rapidly, becoming more powerful and destructive. This trend of increasing ocean heat content is a stark reminder of the long-term consequences of our actions. Climate change isn't just about warmer temperatures, it's about disrupting the delicate balance of our planet's systems. The atmosphere is changing, the oceans are warming, and the impacts are being felt worldwide. Hurricanes, already formidable forces of nature, are becoming more intense and unpredictable due to climate change. Warmer air holds more moisture, leading to heavier rainfall and increased risk of flooding. Rising sea levels, another consequence of climate change, exacerbate storm surge, pushing more water inland and causing greater devastation. The connection between climate change and hurricane intensification is clear. As we continue to emit greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, we are fueling the intensity of these storms. This isn't a future threat, it's happening now. The consequences of inaction are becoming increasingly clear. Section 5. The power of nature, amplified. Hurricanes are classified by their wind speed, ranging from Category 1, the weakest, to Category 5, the most intense. A Category 5 hurricane can unleash winds exceeding 157 miles per hour, capable of catastrophic damage. These storms are not merely stronger, they are larger and slower moving. This means they linger over affected areas longer, dumping more rain and causing more extensive flooding. The impact of these amplified storms is felt far beyond the coast. In recent years, we've seen hurricanes stall inland, their remnants bringing record rainfall and devastating floods hundreds of miles from the ocean. The 2024 hurricane season serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of these storms. It's a call to action, urging us to prepare for the new reality of more intense and frequent hurricanes in a changing climate. Section 6. When the storm hits home. The impact of a hurricane extends far beyond the initial strike. Coastal communities face the brunt of the storm surge, the wall of water pushed ashore by the hurricane's winds. This surge can inundate entire neighborhoods, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Homes are reduced to rubble, businesses are destroyed, and infrastructure is crippled. The economic toll is staggering, with billions of dollars in damage and lost productivity. The human cost is immeasurable, with lives lost, homes destroyed, and communities displaced, but the impact isn't just physical, it's emotional and psychological as well. The trauma of surviving a major hurricane can have lasting effects, especially on children who have lost their homes and sense of security. Section 7. The rising tide. As the planet warms, glaciers and ice sheets melt at an alarming rate, adding more water to the oceans. This, combined with the thermal expansion of water as it warms, is causing sea levels to rise. The consequences for coastal communities are dire. Higher sea levels mean that storm surge from hurricanes will be even more destructive, pushing farther inland and inundating larger areas. Low-lying coastal areas and islands are particularly vulnerable, facing the risk of permanent inundation. This isn't just a problem for the future, it's happening now. We are already seeing the effects of sea level rise, with more frequent coastal flooding during high tides and storms. The time to act is now, to mitigate further warming and adapt to the changes already underway. Section 8. Beyond the coastline. The impact of hurricanes isn't limited to coastal areas. As storms move inland, they can bring torrential rainfall, causing widespread flooding, landslides, and mudslides. Rivers and streams overflow their banks, inundating homes and businesses. Infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and power lines, can be severely damaged, isolating communities and hampering relief efforts. The agricultural sector is also vulnerable, with crops destroyed and livestock lost, leading to food shortages and economic hardship. The inland impacts of hurricanes are often overlooked, but they can be just as devastating as the coastal impacts. It's crucial to recognize that hurricanes are not just coastal events. They are a threat to communities far and wide. Section 9. The human cost. The human cost of hurricanes is often immeasurable. Lives are lost, homes are destroyed, and communities are torn apart. The trauma of surviving such a disaster can have long-lasting effects on mental and emotional well-being. Displacement is a common consequence of hurricanes, forcing people to flee their homes and seek refuge in shelters or with relatives. This displacement can be temporary or long-term, disrupting lives, education, and livelihoods. The aftermath of a hurricane often brings about a surge in mental health issues, including anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. Access to mental health services is crucial for helping communities recover and rebuild their lives. Section 10. Preparing for the inevitable. While we can't control the weather, we can control how we prepare for it. The key to minimizing the impact of hurricanes lies in proactive planning and community resilience. This includes investing in early warning systems that provide timely and accurate information about approaching storms. Building codes should be strengthened to withstand the forces of stronger hurricanes, ensuring that homes and buildings are more resilient. Natural defenses such as dunes and wetlands should be protected and restored as they act as natural buffers against storm surge. Community preparedness is also crucial. This includes educating residents about hurricane risks, developing evacuation plans, and establishing communication networks. By working together, communities can become more resilient and better equipped to handle the challenges of a changing climate. Section 11. Our shared responsibility. The 2024 hurricane season serves as a stark reminder of the growing threat posed by climate change. It's a call to action, urging us to address the root causes of this global crisis and work towards a more sustainable future. We must reduce our reliance on fossil fuels and transition to cleaner, renewable sources of energy. This requires a global effort, with governments, businesses, and individuals all playing a role. We must invest in climate adaptation measures to protect our communities from the impacts of a changing climate. This is not just about protecting our planet, it's about protecting ourselves, our children, and future generations. The choices we make today will determine the world we leave behind. Let's choose a path of action, a path of resilience, and a path of hope. The time to act is now.